Hello and welcome to the Huddle Hub podcast. I am Cole Brennan,
I'm Colton.
and today we're going to be talking about the Joaquin Buckley versus Colby Covington fight um, for UFC. We're going to be talking about the NFL games. Some of them already happened, some of them are going on right now, and then a couple of them we're going to choose our predictions for. And then we're also going to do the FCS playoffs for college football and the college football playoffs. And then we will have a video coming out by the end of this week that is about every other bowl game in college football. So let's get started with the UFC fight, Joaquin Buckley versus Colby Covington. It was plain and simple. Joaquin Buckley looked like a demon out there.
I have to agree with King Buckley. Just kept Colby Covington was basically a punching bag for him. He kept knocking him down. He had good takedown defense. I saw the third round. Colby Covington was 7 for 8. I mean, Joaquin Buckley was 7 for 8 for takedown defense.
Yeah.
So he's really good at takedown defense. So if he goes up against Usman, which I think he will go against next, he could potentially beat him. But I don't know. Usman's unpredictable. He's lost his last 3 fights. And Joaquin Buckley is kind of a rising star right now. So we'll see how that plans out. But Colby Covington, he's just trash now. Ever since he took that long ass break, came back for Leon Edwards, got destroyed. He just got destroyed against Buckley. I don't think he's ever going to go back to his true self. So, yeah, Joaquin Buckley kind of dominated him.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think that was a complete domination. I think Joaquin Buckley definitely has a shot at being champion. I think he's very fast. He's able to move around. His takedown defense is excellent, and we saw that. So his takedown defense should be good against future opponents like Shavkat. He's able to stand in there and just box and just throw punches and take punches, and we saw that with Colby Covington. So he's able to compete with Ian Gary on the punching level. So I definitely think he is a rising star, and I think he definitely, maybe 1 to 2 years down the road, he has a title shot in front of him. Based off the way he performed, I think he'll beat Usman just because Usman is so old. Colton, what did you think about the doctor stoppage?
I thought it was kind of reasonable because Colby Covington looked like he couldn't even see out I think it was left eye. He had that huge ass cut over it. So, but I really wanted Joaquin Buckley to knock him out in the third round because that was my prediction. But I mean, Doctor Stoppage is basically the same thing. And Colby Covington looked like it looked like bro murdered someone even though he's getting his butt kicked. So, yeah, I think that was reasonable for them to stop the fight there. He wasn't doing good anyways. He wasn't gonna win. So, that was a good job for the refs. What do you think?
I would have to agree. I wish they would remove doctor stoppages completely from UFC.
Why?
I think it's kind of dumb. But
Someone could die.
I don't care.
God.
But yeah, that cut above his eye was pretty big. Pretty bleeding a lot. He looked like he was gonna. I would have let them finish the third round, and then I would have stopped it. I wouldn't have stopped it with 13, 12 seconds left.
There was 2 minutes left in the third round.
There was 12 seconds left.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. But I would have let the third round play out, and then I would have stopped it. I think that was more than a reasonable doctor stoppage, just because he just did not look good. He looked very tired going into it. His
Actually,
eyes
it was 18 seconds.
were very tired. It doesn't matter. I was closer. But I think the doctor had a very good reason to stop. Next up on our list of stuff to talk about is we had an interesting situation with the 49ers. Devondre Campbell just said, "I'm a dip," and dipped. And we have not heard from him since. So, what do you make of that situation?
I thought we should cut him, but for some reason they only suspended him for a couple of games. And if he's not going to be a team player, he does not deserve to be on really any team. Really, he showed his true side this game, and I think if he goes into free agency, no one wants that type of player on their team. Someone who just quits in the middle of a game for no reason. They want someone that's like a team player that doesn't give up, works harder. He hasn't done anything this year, anyways. You know, Dre Greenlaw, he came back, he was dominating a little bit, and I think he was a little bit injured too. And Campbell could have helped him, but it doesn't matter. He would have done nothing. So I wish they just cut him at this point.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think it's very selfish of him to do that. Obviously, I love it because I hate the 49ers. Screw them. I think this is just a representation of the locker room right now. I think Kyle Shanahan has completely lost the locker room. Debo Samuel was off crying about how little he gets the ball, then goes and drops 3 passes and eats McDonald's afterwards and gets fat as hell. And then Devondre Campbell just says no to him. So I think Kyle Shanahan has lost the locker room, and I think the 49ers playoff chances and future playoff chances at this point have gone to shit because they're just so bad.
Yeah, I have to agree. They're not playing that good this season. I just hope we can get an O-lineman in the draft, like I've been saying. Or maybe another corner, even though we got Lenore, Green, or Ward. I really hope we can develop Ronaldo Green. I really like him. I think he would be pretty good this season. But please just draft an O-lineman. Our O-line's one of the worst in the league. They suck. They're absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I would say your whole team's terrible, but whatever. Next up is we have the NFL games going on right now. The first game is we're going to review is the Sunday night football game just because that's a game that hasn't finished. We're going to work back from Sunday to the 10 o'clock games.
Start Monday.
Oh, actually, we're going to start with Monday night football. So we have the Packers and the Bears. Or the Vikings and the Bears, excuse me. I like the Vikings in this one. I think the Bears can take it too. I think both teams are good enough to win it. But I just like the Vikings just because they seem to have a better team and have been better recently.
I would have to agree. I think the Vikings are going to win this one. The Bears, the past couple of weeks, have not been playing good at all. I know they played the Niners last week. They got destroyed by like 20 points. Caleb Williams, I think he could play better this season, but at the same time, I guess the Bears aren't really that good of a team. Their defense is not that good. And the Vikings, they've been balling out this season. Sam Darnold, he surprisingly looked good this season. He had a couple of down weeks, but he's still going to lead them to the playoffs. They got Jefferson. Addison had a really good game last week, like 3 touchdowns, I think. So I think the Vikings are going to beat him maybe by 20 points, or it's going to be a close game. Because the Vikings have some close games against some bad teams.
Yes. Also, something I just realized is that there are 2 games tomorrow because no team has a bye week. So from here on out, there are 2 Thursday night football games, or 2 Monday night football games. So
Saturday.
we got the Falcons and we got the Raiders tomorrow. I'm gonna pick a rare Raiders W. I'm going to pick this just because Kirk Cousins has been throwing so many interceptions lately. And I really think Brock Bowers is just going to put this team on his back in prime time and win him this game.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Falcons, Kirk Cousins is pretty trash. I think they should try out Michael Penix Jr. for once, see how he works out for them.
Yes, I think they should do that as well.
But I think the Raiders are surprisingly going to win this one. They've been playing trash this season, but every time they play the Chiefs, they somehow always do good. I don't know why. But, Brock Bowers is going to carry them. He's going to win Rookie of the Year, no doubt. He's balling out this season. And I think that's basically their whole team. And just give all to Brock Bowers, and they're going to win pretty much. Because Kirk Cousins can't do anything when he's throwing, 3 picks a game.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Next up we have is tonight's Sunday night game. The Packers versus the Seahawks. There's no question it's going to be the Seahawks. I mean, honestly. They're going into Seattle in a primetime game. the Packers. Jordan Love has never played in a stadium as loud as the Seahawks in prime time. There's no question. I'm going with the Seahawks. I think it could be a possible blowout. I think DK's bound to have a big game, and I think Zach Charbonnet continues off of last week against the Cardinals, I believe, and he dominates the Packers on the ground game. And I think that Seattle defense, they've came up with a nickname for themselves. DK Metcalf called them the Death Zone. So they're now the Death Zone. They've been one of the top, probably the best defense in the NFL for the past 4 or 5 weeks. Look at the statistics. I'm not lying. Mike McDonald has worked miracles, and that defense is now one of the best in the league. I think they shut Jordan Love down. I think that noise and that defense is gonna kill the Packers' offense. And I believe that DK Metcalf and Zach Charbonnet are gonna have huge games in a Seahawks easy victory or a Seahawks blowout.
I'll have to disagree. I'm gonna pick the Packers this year. Defense. I mean, the Seahawks defense have been looking very good. They got some decent corners. The D-line is kind of trash though, except for Leonard Williams. If they can just get some pressure on Jordan Love, then I think they could win. But the Packers, they're just too good. Jordan Love's gonna go on Lumen Field and it's strong, just like Brock Purdy did. So I'm gonna say, Jordan Love has played tougher opponents this season. I think it's gonna be an easy dub for the Packers.
But has he ever played at Lumen Field in a primetime game?
I don't care. He's still gonna win.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs is one of the best running backs in the league. They're gonna run all over your defense because Tariq Woolen does not know how to tackle.
Yeah, it
and
does.
Devin Wilson's a bump. So yeah, Packers are gonna win by 20.
Next up we have is the Steelers-Eagles game.
Eagles are destroying Steelers right now.
As of right now, it's the second quarter with 5:30 left, and the Steelers are losing to the Eagles 3-17. I'm gonna pick the Eagles in this game just because they're winning. I think I would have picked the Steelers at the start, but I don't think Russell Wilson is able. He hasn't looked good this game. Their offense hasn't really looked good this game, so I'm gonna have to go with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in what could be a blowout.
I would have to agree. Even though the Eagles started off the game pretty slow, they bounced back in the second quarter. Jalen Hurts, I think, has thrown like 2 touchdowns or something like that. And if it was before the game, I also would have picked the Chiefs. But now the Eagles are kind of not the Chiefs, Steelers. But now the Eagles are kind of destroying the Steelers. And I'm going to pick the Eagles just because when the Eagles are in the lead, there's no way you're going to beat them. They have a really good offense, a really good defense. And they just don't blow leads that often. So I'm going to pick the Eagles.
So next up we have is the Bills versus Lions. This is a possible Super Bowl matchup. I think obviously the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl, but on the off chance that they don't, I think this is the definite Super Bowl matchup. I'm going to pick the Bills in this game right now. They're leading 21-14. They have the ball on Detroit's 6-yard line. It's 3rd and goal, and there's 2 minutes left in the second quarter. So either the Bills go up 24-14 here, or the Bills go up 28-14. Either way, I think the Bills win. I think they're gonna expose this Lions defense. I don't think this Lions defense is good. We saw Seattle expose them. We saw other teams kind of copy Seattle and have a good game against them. I think this offense is really what's kept them alive. But I'm gonna have to go with the Bills here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Bills. I think their defense is decent. They just have on and off games pretty often, but their offense is one of the best in the league. The Lions, I don't think they're gonna come back and beat these Bills. Josh Allen is I think up there for MVP. He doesn't even have that many good receivers except for Khalil Shakir. That he has Dalton Kincaid, which I don't know if he's playing this game, and he has James Cook. He has barely any good offensive weapons, and he's still beating every single team, blowing them out. And currently, he is beating the Lions, and I think he will beat the Lions. So, give me the Bills by a close game, probably like a field goal or a touchdown.
Next up, we have the Cardinals and the Patriots. The person winning this game is going to be the Cardinals. I'm going to pick the Steelers. I like Drake May. Or the Patriots. I like Drake May. I think they come back and they pull this out of the bag. Despite being down by 7 points, they're losing 10-3 right now. With 16 seconds left, I think it said. I like Drake May. I think he's really good. I think he has a good future ahead of him if the Patriots get some sort of talent around him. So give me the Patriots in this game. I think they come back.
I'm also say the Patriots in this game. I really need the Cardinals to lose it. If the Niners somewhat have a chance in the playoffs, even though I don't think we're gonna make it, I'd rather us just fall in the next 3 games than make the playoffs. Because at this point we need an alignment and they kind of suck. But right now the score for Patriots Cardinals 13-3. The Cardinals have scored a field goal. I mean, Drake May has been doing pretty decent this season, considering he has no offensive weapons. If they get offensive weapons for him, then I think he'd be a really good player in this league. Maybe, possibly, win some awards for him. People underestimated this kid coming out of college. They said he wasn't going to be that good. Now he's playing. I think he's had a decently good rookie season. So, yeah, give me the Patriots to come back and win this by maybe 8 points.
Next up, we have the Colts and the Broncos. Everybody's been glazing the Broncos recently. They're all like, oh my gosh, they're so good, No, they're not. They're trash. They just had easy-ass opponents. Give me the Colts. The Colts are currently winning this game 10-7. I think Anthony Richardson, he's 4 of 14 right now with 1 interception, so he's doing awful, but JT's just going to carry them this game, I believe. And I don't think that Bo Nix is that good, to be honest with you. I don't think he's ever been that good. I think everybody just loves him, and they're just going to meat right him. But I don't think he's that good. So give me the Colts in this game.
What do you mean? Bo Nix could win. He's good.
No, he isn't.
I think he's pretty good. I don't know
trash.
what he's talking about. I think the Broncos come out and win this game. Bo Nix is actually having a pretty decent year, in my opinion. I don't know what you're on about. But the Colts, Anthony Richardson, I don't know. I think this is his 3rd year.
Second
year, and he's not been looking good this year. He got benched of the year, and he bounced back 1 game, but right now he's not doing good against his Broncos D, who's actually one of the best in the league now. So I can't really blame him. But if the Colts won't win this game, just run the ball to Jonathan Taylor. He's been their whole team this whole season, and I think he will be their whole team in the following years. But for this game, Broncos are going to win. Their defense are going to hold out the Colts in the second half. Let them to no touchdowns. I think Bo Nix will bounce back in the second half also and score some points for the Broncos.
The next game we have is the Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Chargers. I like LA in this one just because I think Justin Herbert is doing fantastic lately. He's kind of carrying this team. I think the Chargers are going to end up making the playoffs. I think Justin Herbert has proven himself to be one of the best QBs in the league. I think so is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has taken this crappy Tampa Bay team with no weapons because both of their star receivers are injured, and he's turned them around. Obviously, Mike Evans is back this week, but he's turned them around, and he's gotten them to be able to stay in contention for the playoff spot. They have a winning record. I think they're going to lose this game, but I think they will make the playoffs, and chances are they'll end up winning the division as well. But I'm going to take the Chargers in this game.
I'm going to take the Chargers too. Justin Herbert, like Brennan said, has been carrying this team the whole season. He's made nothing out of having no offensive weapons either. He only has Ladd McConkey. J.K. Dobbins is hurt, so that's really kind of affected them. But they have Gus Edwards, so they're fine. He has Ladd McConkey, Quinn Johnson, who's both pretty underrated in my opinion. They've done pretty good this season. Ladd McConkey's a rookie, and I didn't think he was going to be this good. I thought Marvin Harrison's going to be better than him, but as of right now, McConkey's better than him.
Yeah, I think Marvin Harrison is a bust, and he sucks.
Yeah, he's not doing so good this season.
On to the next game. So the next game that we have is
these are all the finals.
are all the finished games, but we're just gonna go over them. First off, is the Cowboys and the Panthers. Cowboys won this one 30-14. I'm surprised. The Carolina's been playing good recently. Bryce Young has been playing good recently. He had 2 interceptions, but he had 219 yards and 1 touchdown. So an under average. I don't think it was that good of a game for him. I think he should have done better. But the Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys get the job done. And I think that neither of these teams are going to make the playoffs, so this game doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I thought the Panthers were gonna win this one. Bryce Young's been looking really good this season since he's came back. Well, earlier season looked bad, and after he got benched and came back to play, he looked pretty good. He almost beat the Chiefs. I think he almost beat another good team. I'm not really sure who it was, but I didn't think the Cowboys were gonna win this. They've been having a really bad down season. Cooper Rush, honestly, I think has been playing better than Dak Prescott was. And Rico Dowdle had a really good game this game. He had 140 yards against his Panthers defense, but the Panthers defense is probably one of the worst in the league, so can't really. And Trevor Hubbard, he's not been playing super good these past couple of weeks. He was in the beginning of the season, but he only had 10 carries for 32 yards. And I think they should give him the ball more, but at the same time, they don't have a good online, so that doesn't really help them as much. But I'm very surprised Cowboys won this one, and I hope the Panthers bounce back and win next week because I like Bryce Young, and I think he deserves better.
I do too. I think Bryce Young is definitely underrated. Next up, we have another useless game: the Jags and the Jets. The Jets won this 32-25. Aaron Rodgers had 3 TDs, got his 100th career TD to Devontae Adams. Or it was Devontae Adams' 100th career TD. I have no idea. Devontae Adams went off this game. 9 catches, 198 yards for 2 TDs. Aaron Rodgers had a pretty good game. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mac Jones kind of looking like Patriots Mac Jones, to be honest. 2 interceptions, but 2 TDs with almost 300 yards, but he went 31 for 46. But I think the Jaguars need to figure out this backfield. Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, they need to find out who they want. Both of them had over 10 carries. Both of them had over 40 yards. Travis Etienne, 14 carries for 65 yards. Tank Bigsby, 11 carries for 42 yards. Neither of them had touchdowns. They need to figure this out. This is just not... They need to either A, get a good offensive line, and then they could have a 1-2 punch duo.
Like Jahmyr Gibbs,
like
Montgomery.
Yeah, like the Lions, or they need to trade one of them while the other one still has value. Brian Thomas Jr. had a good game. He's looking promising. 10 catches, 105 yards, and 2 TDs.
And yeah, I'm kind of surprised he just won this one. Aaron Rodgers have not been looking very good this season, but this game he didn't throw a pick. He threw 3 touchdowns, but that's all on Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams kind of carried this game, in my opinion. He had over 190 yards, almost 200 yards this game, and 2 touchdowns. This is a career day for Devontae Adams. He went off. He kind of destroyed the Jaguars D, ran all over them, and somehow. Aaron Rodgers had more rushing yards than Breece Hall. You know, Aaron Rodgers is slower than my grandma. But Mac Jones, looking like the regular Mac Jones, throwing 2 interceptions. I thought he looked good the last game he played, but now he's looking like his regular self. And like Brennan said, they got to figure out this rushing thing. The running backs, because these are 2 really good, promising running backs who have a lot of talent, and they're just kind of wasting their potential just by running both of them. If they want to do that, they need a good online like the Lions. But I think they should trade Travis Etienne. He's older and they don't use him as much as Tank Bigsby. So yeah, and Brian Thomas Jr., I think he's a really promising receiver, like Brennan said. In the future, he could be really good. He's one of the best rookie receivers this season, and he proved that today with over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, tough loss for the Jaguars there. Next up we have is the, let's see here, the Giants and the Ravens. There was never any question about this game. Let's be honest. Ravens won this 35-14. Lamar Jackson popping off. 21 for 25, 290 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Derrick Henry was useless this game. What the heck? He probably lost me my fantasy football playoff this game. Tommy DeVito went out injured. He looked pretty good. He went 10 for 13 with 68 yards, no TDs, no interceptions. I think he looks like their starter for the rest of this year if he comes back from that injury. Other than that, League Neighbors looked good as always. 10 receptions, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. I think that they need to start giving Jalen Hyatt more of. They need to put him at the 3rd receiver or the 2nd receiver because he is young. He is promising. We watched him play in college. He was a demon on that Tennessee team. And I think that they definitely need to use him more as the season progresses. I think he could be very vital to their passing game.
Yeah, I'm not surprised the Ravens won this one. They kind of destroyed the Giants by like 20 points. But if Tommy DeVito was in the game, I think it would have been a closer game for this because, he has Malik Neighbors. He can throw it up for Malik Neighbors. He's been looking pretty good this season. I think that was a good draft pick by the Giants. Really underrated draft pick. I think it was this year, Talon Tracy Jr. If they just get a good line, he would be a really good running back in this league. Lamar Jackson had a career day against a terrible team. I'm not surprised. He's probably going to make me lose my fantasy. This guy threw 5 touchdowns with over 250 yards. I think he's in contention for MVP too. He's looked really good this season.
Him and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And Geno Smith.
Anyways, I don't know who I'd pick over Lamar or Josh. They both have been doing good this season, and that's going to be a really good MVP race. But Derrick Henry, he's been good this season. He's going to do good this game. Rashad Bateman kind of went off. Pulled a Randy Moss game kind of, except he had way less yards. He had like 3 receptions, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Ravens dominated. I just want to say the Heisman was rigged.
Yeah, the Heisman was horrendous, but we'll get to that in a minute. I believe we have one more. We have one more game. Our other game is the let's see here. Our other game is the Chiefs and the Browns. Or the Dolphins and the Texans. Excuse me. I think the Dolphins tried to show themselves this game. They weren't very good. I think that's kind of the Dolphins. They do good against bad teams and bad against good teams. I think the Texans aren't as good as everybody says that they are. I think they showed that today. I think they have a really easy schedule, and I think the Texans will make the playoffs and the Dolphins will not.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Texans have not looked good this year. CJ Stroud has had like a really big down year, sophomore slump in my opinion. I drafted him in my fantasy thinking he's going to do good, but he has not done anything this year at all. But the Dolphins are even worse. Tua, ever since he came back, I thought he was going to do good. He did good against the Bills, but the past couple of games he's done nothing. And the Texans, even though they're going to make the playoffs, I don't think they're going to do good in the playoffs, losing the first round just like the Seahawks. So, ow!
Next up we have is the Bengals and the Titans.
That hurt!
I think the Titans had a good game for offense. I think the Bengals showed what team they are. Really good offensively, horrible defensively. I think that's kind of the way their season's gone. I think they don't. I don't think they make the playoffs. I think they need to draft defense next year, though.
What are we talking about? Oh, Bengals and Titans? You have to agree. The Bengals defense is the worst in the league. They're so trash. How do you let 27 points up to the Titans? That's kind of crazy in my opinion. Who's the quarterback? Mason Rudolph. Oh my God, Will Levis threw 3 picks. He's a bum. He's actually terrible.
They had overall 4 picks this game.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph did better though, and freaking Tony Pollard sucks. But Joe Burrow threw 2 picks. My opinion, I saw the first pick. I don't think it was his fault. Kind of, his own line wasn't really blocking. He was trying to get the ball out. I guess it was just an unlucky throw. Whatever, not my problem. But he did throw 3 touchdowns, bounce back, and won the game. So good for the Bengals, but they need to draft defensive people, or they're gonna suck for the rest of
the year. Next up, we have the Chiefs and the Browns. We're gonna go kind of quick fire with the last 3 games here. I think the Chiefs showed what team they are this game. They're crap. They always get so lucky. How do you only win by 14 points against the Browns and put up only 21 points against the Browns and let up 7 points against the Browns? Overall, the Chiefs had a horrible game today. I think if Jameis Winston doesn't throw 3 interceptions, I think the Browns win this game. Colin, your opinion?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs, I don't know, this game, Mickey Mouse wins, and the Bills kind of exposed them. The Bills are a better team than the Chiefs, in my opinion. If the Bills face the Chiefs, then they're going to win.
Our next game is...
But in my opinion, James Winston sucks, and the Browns are terrible, and the Chiefs are frauds.
I could not agree more. Next up, we have the Commanders and the Saints. I think Alvin Kamara sold my freaking season. I'm really pissed off about that. The Commanders stopped the 2-point conversion to win the game. I love that the Saints did that because they just they kind of like showed like, oh, you know, we're not scared to risk our season. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs because of this loss. However, I think teams need to start doing this more, going for 2 on last-second touchdowns.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'd rather try to go for it for the season than just be a bum and don't go for it.
Yeah. So our next game...
Wait, I'm not done yet. So, James had a very good game this game. I'm not surprised. He's really good in the Saints. Spencer Rattler didn't even do that bad. He didn't throw any picks, surprisingly. Calvin Kamara sucks. Brendan, your fantasy screwed, and I'm happy about that. And the next game, I don't want to talk about it.
The next game is the 49ers and the Rams. Let's go quick. 49ers suck. Rams suck. 49ers are so trash. Stupid Devondre Campbell. Rams win. I think they both suck.
No comment.
All right. On to the Heisman conversation, and then that will be it for our video.
It was the Heisman winner.
Or the Heisman winner. I think it was rigged. I think as an Oregon Duck, said best on the podcast, snaps aren't a stat. He was not good as a cornerback. He was...
Actually, he had a pick.
He was not even the best receiver. And yet he wins Heisman. Nick Nash was the best receiver. The whole awards is a popularity contest. And it just further proved that Nick Nash led the
he got the triple crown.
Led the country in receptions, TDs, and yards. And if you don't win the best wide receiver, then I don't know what the hell the committee is doing. So I think, without a doubt, I think that it was rigged from the beginning. And Ashton Genty may not have won the actual Heisman, but he's the People's Heisman, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I feel bad for Ashton Genty after the Heisman. He looked really sad because he should have won it. He scored 30 touchdowns this season, had over 2,000 rushing yards. We haven't seen a running back that explosive since, I think, Melvin Gordon. That's just crazy to give Travis Hunter. They even have 1,000 yards for receiving. Mickey Mouse win for Travis Hunter. The judges.
Plus, he didn't even make the playoffs. So what type of player is he? Trash.
So I think Ashton Dainty's gonna go off in the playoffs since he's mad about not winning Heisman. But like Travis Hunter, the first thing he said was about his girlfriend, not even about his parents in his speech.
Yeah.
I don't know what bro was yapping about. He shouldn't have won it. Screw him. Ashton Dainty should have won, even though I'm not a big fan of Ashton Dainty because he didn't take a picture of me. Kind of a hater. But he looks really nice, so. But poor Ashton Dainty still. He should have won it by a mile. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that will do it for our episode. I'm Brennan.
I'm Colton.
And this was... Sucks. Yeah, and then this was also the...
Heisman was rigged.